Incorrect, actually. I wish I were the chair of Department of Agriculture, but after all, I'm just chair of the Architecture Department. But that's fine. Either way, it's cultural. Inconvenient studio. 9 billion people soon will be teeming over the planet. Climate change is at least a 10% certainty. We need insurance. We will run out of fossil fuels, energy, carbon budget, and most importantly, beer. We can outsource life to other planets if we are lucky. The scale of challenges is staggering. The idea that we continue to educate ourselves to the same old way to extinction is mind-numbing. So, we started an Inconvenient studio at Ball State University, where there are no projects given, there are no deadlines. The students come together, and we form a think tank. We find a mission. We invent projects, we invent deadlines, we innovate. That's what we do. And the only way to educate is to embrace paradigms with no boundaries. There are no boundaries in the studio. As I said to my students, bring your grandma if you think that's pertinent. Network. Everything, everywhere. Where we teach, teaching happens, but where we inspire, learning happens. This is a topography of learning. Play with everything. Play with Legos. Create things. Things that sense. Things that respond. What are architects doing with these things? Wouldn't it be nice to sense sound, sense movement, sense light, sense touch, and respond intelligently? Would it not be fascinating if our built world comes into its senses? Just as a natural world is full of sensing and intelligent life? Scary thought? Maybe. But how much longer do we want to live with these dumb buildings that don't know what they do, who they house, or why they should behave the way they do? Would it not be fascinating to see buildings that are sensitive and sensible? That was a mission of the studio. Life. Bringing buildings to life. Blue. Architecture is not about prosaics of life. Architecture is about the poetry of bringing life to life. It's about poetic living. Here we see a flower in bloom that senses, gently responds, opens up, and provides a definition for people to meet and converse. Here we see a project called Sound Shadow, where the envelope begins to sense the noise and envelopes the group to enable conversation. The interwoven skin that is made up of rigid insulation panels and CNC fabrication, enabled with sound sensors and servos, brings to life a space that is intelligent, that is sensible. Sensing noise, sensing congregation, and deploying the envelope. That's the value of prototyping, of innovating, of creating life and living buildings. All in a way that we have not seen before. Educate in a way that we have not seen before. Where nothing happens, but not teaching. Twist. A twist on inner skin. It is, think of it as underwear for the buildings. But underwear with a twist. It's not emotional underwear, it senses. It responds to temperature and light and presence of people. It begins to open up. It begins to take a peek. It begins to be sensible. And that is a twist on the building's inner skin. The subtle shadows, the subtle openings, the subtle effects of translucency, and the sensuous nature of this installation is only taught by its ability to respond to you. I wish I could show you the video, but you can always Google and find the blog and find the video yourself too. Now we have an animal called Arcus animus. It's an animal with primate instincts. It works with infrared sensors, feathers, bamboo sticks. It is wild. It begins to flutter as you move in it. It begins to shudder. It begins to shout and yell, and it begins to create an experience. And it's an organism. And it works with 8-powered muscles, mylar whiskers. It begins to bring to life an intelligent form, an intelligent environment. Here we have trial rooms. Trial rooms that do not have to be trials. They can be experiences in sensuality. You go to the mall, and you are surrounded by a corporate banality. And then you have this intelligent ceiling that begins to respond to the way you change, the way you robe and disrobe in this changing room. Call it the morpholuminescence. It begins to move, begins to light, it begins to reflect through its topography the movements of this individual who was till that point alone. It's a study in interactivity. And that, my friends, is an Inconvenient studio just about 4 months. The studio did not begin at the beginning, did not end at the end. It continues. Thank you.